What's up, geeks and gamers? My name is Drementfh, and welcome to Thorium Gaming. And we're back with episode 17 of Knightly Valor, our attempts to bring the light of the Lady of the Lake to the entire old world. And we have to deal with some Norscans, because they've really been causing us some problems. So at Corone, we have Lamont Dahl with one mammoth, and Ulf Ianarson with another mammoth, and a whole bunch of skin wolves that are both armored and unarmored. But we've got Phoenix up from the south to come in and help us. We've got Grimuldis, and we've got Aitadon, and the garrison, what's left of it at Corone, and we're going to fight these guys and see what's going to turn out from it. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right into that and see what happens. Seeing off one set of raiders doesn't hurt. Now let's make sure that Phoenix is in range to help out on this fight too. He can't run, and he's in a really bad position. Well, if we give our war banner to one of the units of infantry, we want to try and spread these out best we can anyway. Make our infantry a little bit stronger. There is a lot of soldiers that we can bring in here. It is outside of our normal combat range, and we might lose some troops. Let's see how it's going to work out. But our lords are still okay. So we'll deal with them there. And Aitadon got some armor of silvered steel. We have a charm shield that we can give out. Another set of silvered steel. And Chaplain just got heroes, so we're good. And we killed off a bunch of enemy soldiers, which definitely doesn't hurt. And we'll give Aitadon the Knight's Vow to get him some knights, because that's going to play into something that we're going to be doing here pretty quick. And let's get Phoenix onto the western side of Corone, still in reinforcement range, so that if this guy decides to come after us, we can settle it off. But Corone itself is in a pretty decent spot now. We don't yet have the funds to build either of the big buildings. Kind of sad that we didn't actually get the fight. I was hoping to see that on the map. But for the most part, we do have some other things going on. We have a couple of army stacks kind of guarding our southern border here. And since we are not going to go to war with Talea, I have a new plan. Well, somewhat of a new plan anyway. And of course, Eddie is going to go after these Brettonian rebels. And we're going to have to deal with another rebellion up at Al-Haik. I swear I can pronounce these names sometimes, and the other times I can't. Montfort's not going to confederate with us right now because, well, we lost a lot of soldiers. But there's going to be something coming from that. So we're making 3,000 crowns a turn. And the one thing that we're going to be doing right off the bat, so we're going to go in. Chaplain, you have up to the questing vow. So we're going to grab you a set of Knights of the Realm, another set of Knights Errant, and a set of questing Knights.
Do you know who I am?
Aitadon, since we have some infantry slots available, we're going to grab you another set of swordsmen, and a couple of sets of archers, as well as a couple of units of Knights Errant. And Phoenix, we can't give you anything else on this turn because, well, you're still in march stance. We have a couple of cities we could upgrade. Brionne, it would actually be beneficial for us to upgrade because it has a port city. It'll wipe out our funds pretty efficiently, but for now it'll have to do. I've got something in the back of my head that I've got set up for what I want to do with King Louen. And we still might go after the Sword of Corone, because it's a pretty decent battle, and get him a really good item, especially with the forces that he has now, all veteran units that have been with him throughout most of the campaign so far. But you guys are going to get to hear some of the most cheesy and broken voice acting ever, namely mine, but that's going to be coming up in a little bit here, so let's pass it over to the other nations and see what they're going to do this turn. And of course, I forget about our heroes down in the south. Ahriman's going to keep moving up to explore more of the orcish areas. Though, he's not really going to get into the fight that much right now. those are demigryph knights. Those are some pretty heavy cavalry that the Empire's got going on. Granted, they've been just power hammering Sylvania into the dust. So it's not surprising that they're starting to get some of their bigger units. And when certain bad guys show up, which won't be too long from now, it's good that the Empire is going to be in a position of strength, because we're going to need them to kind of hold off a little bit. Them and Kislev. It'd be nice if they could finish off Drakenhof and take the vampire counts completely out and start repairing all the vampiric corruption that's down there. Then they might be able to start fighting with the orcs a little bit. While I don't want their attention going too far south, the orcs are kind of starting to steamroll too. A lot of the nations are beginning to kind of expand, and it's not going to be a good thing for us in general if some of the forces of disorder tend to get bigger. So seeing things like this where the dwarves are basically hammer blowing onto the orc forces, why wouldn't you take that city? Silly dwarves. But the stronger our allies are right now, the better off we're going to be. Our end goal, of course, is to get towards the final Errantry war. We need chivalry for that, which means we need to start getting into a lot of fights with the enemy. Each one that we win against the ones we have decrees against gives us bonus chivalry. So we just need to start pushing that a little bit harder, and there's plans coming up for that. There's a pretty large orcish general. Well, goblin general. That's an orc general. And that's Azag himself. Now, if the dwarves would have taken Majorca, they wouldn't have lost those 2 army stacks and wouldn't have suffered such a big hit. As you can see, the orcs are starting to steamroll, which is not good for anyone. Be interesting to see what the remnants of that Norscan invasion do on our shores. Orcskin. Wow, my brain is really not here today. Happens sometimes. But yeah, my brain's kind of off today. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what the Norskins do on our shores, if they're going to actually fall back or not. If they try to raiding camp or anything like that, then we can just rally out and destroy them. And he blocked one of our armies. It looks like they are going to fall back. But that's okay. We can deal with a war mammoth here or there, or a feral mammoth, depending on what they have. But there are plans in the back of my crazy mind that are going to deal with the Norskins in due time. The Springs of Eternal Life got taken out by one of the rebel armies. That's rather interesting. We're seeing Kislevite heroes moving around. I'd really like for an expansion for this particular game to come out where either we get the Ogre Kingdoms in the Mountains of Morn, the Chaos Dwarves, or some more depth into the Kislevites. I'd like to see their winged lancers and their czars start flying off, because it's actually got a really, really rich backstory. Of course, granted, one of my favorite characters from the novels and everything is Ulrika, and she is from the Oblasts out in that area. Yeah, and then she kind of dies, and then doesn't die, and it's a long, twisted story. Go read the Gotrek and Felix novels if you want to understand what happens to her. But essentially, she's kind of like a warrior princess. She's like Xena, only with a Russian accent and far, far more brutal.
Defender of the weak.
Alright, Furyx, so let's go take a look over here. They're dark elves. That's odd. What's the garrison there like? Chaos Knights, Cold One Knights. Wow, that is a really tough garrison. Alright, Phoenix, we're going to get you to encamp.
Yes.
Aitadon, we'll get you to encamp to heal up as well.
My reputation precedes me.
Good Chaplain's still regenning his forces. We're at the maximum amount of peasants that we can have. That's not really going to stop us in the grand scheme of things. So Aitadon, we're actually going to get you a couple of units of Knights of the Realm. And Phoenix, we might get you a few more Knights Errant. Have you got... You do not have the questing vow yet. So a couple more units of Knights Errant wouldn't be too bad. And Chaplain, we're going to let you get up to where you are right now.
The lion.
But it looks like Lady Di has gotten another level. And we're working on the second column. And there you go. You have your second point in Chain Lightning. Probably the most devastating spell that the Heavens lore gets. Which is pretty awesome, all things considered. And before we deal with the king, and possibly some cheesy voice acting, let's check out what the rebels down here are doing, because they are starting to build up. They've got 10 units now. We have 11 that's mostly peasants.
You dishonor me. Do you know who I am?
If we can put you into encamp stance, it'll cost way too much to get you some knights. But if you hold near Martek, you should, in theory, get reinforced by at least one set of Grail Knights and some Yeomen, along with some additional Spearmen. They have a lot of mounted Yeomen, but we have Spearmen, and we have our Foot Squires, so we should be okay, if we set it up properly. Alright. So, I, King Leoncoeur, champion of the Lady, Duke of Couronne, and King of Brettonnia, hereby declare an Errantry war against the Norscans. That sounded a lot cooler in my head than it came out. But, either way, that's exactly what's going to happen. King Louen's going to go off and get himself his sword. Not this turn, but next turn. And then, once these guys have finished getting their army stacks in order, we're going to send them up north. And we're going to take on either Pack Ice Bay or Ice Drake Fjord. Just something to give us a foothold on that side where we can start reinforcing our armies. And then we're going to kind of rampage through and deal with the Norscans a little bit. Their overall strength is way weaker than ours, but I'm tired of getting hit on our coast. So we're going to send a full-on Errantry war up there to deal with them. Which makes sense, since we are going to have a lot of Knights Errant in these units. Not a whole lot of anti-large, though, which is a little worrying. We'll have 3 units of Knights of the Realm. It's not the greatest situation, but it's something that we can work with. Wow, Var has fallen too. This is a pretty famous dwarven port city. It's where their ironclads come out of. I'm kind of hoping that Helmengorst can't do anything, and their Castellan engineer can track him down and stop him from taking Carrick-Cairn or anything else. I really want the Empire to take over Castle Dracoff. So it's pretty much all we can do right now. I don't know if Paravon's going to want to confederate. Apparently not. And I don't want to confederate with the Knights of Origio or the Knights of Flame just yet. I have good reason for it, but that's going to be coming up in a little bit here. Why are we getting unfriendly with you? Oh, we are improving. I don't suppose we can... No, the smallest gift we can give is 2,000 gold, so we might have to do that on the next turn, because I want to keep our relationship with the Wood Elves fairly decent. I don't want to have them turn on us at all, because that would be really, really, really bad. Alright, so I guess we just have to pass it off to the other nations, especially since fanaticism is still coming up. The Empire is so strong right now. which is good for us because they're pretty much the entire eastern flank. But also bad for us because if they decide to stop being nice and awesome allies, then we are in trouble. No, take out Oakenhammer, take it over, and then take over the castle. So we don't have to deal with vampire counts anymore. I want to stop seeing vampire count armies. Those demigryph knights are fairly awesome. Think griffins without the wings, and that's a demigryph. And you have a guy in full plate armor with a halberd on its back, and yeah, it's a pretty devastating cavalry unit. I'd still take our Grail Knights over them, but that's not here nor there. Alright, dwarvesies, what are you guys gonna do? If you take over Akendorf, that would be kind of awesome. But we don't know where the rest of those orc armies disappeared to. They might be trying to push down the entire coast, in which case our southern defense armies might have to make nice with Talea so that we can go in and reclaim dwarf holds. Not really something I want to do. Considering the dwarves are kind of getting their butts kicked back a little bit. They don't have that many cities, and we really need to get in there and deal with the orcs. The only good news here is that the vampire counts are going to suffer outside of their own realms. The Norskins are kind of failing back to the north. So once our knightly armies are ready to go, we can send Chaplain, Phoenix, and Aitadon up north to deal with them. I'd love to get some intel up there, but we don't have a nearby hero that's ready for it just yet. Be nice if the Empire started going to war with the Norskins, but they've got enough to deal with in the southeast. Of course, the Tomb Kings are going to be the Tomb Kings. Are they actually going to go after the Springs of Eternal Life? I'd rather see that than Chaos Corruption. And we have the Tower of the Fey Enchantress done, which is awesome. And we can get Albrecht de Bordelot, but we cannot get the Fey Enchantress herself, which is kind of sad. I wish you could get the other heroes, but the tower itself gives us plus 20 magic power reserve for all of our armies, more damsel recruitment rank, and untainted in all of our provinces, which is definitely going to help. It's already going to drop what's left of the chaos corruption we've got and start pushing on to other things.
If I had my way, the wild hunt would trample you into the earth. Yes.
Alright, Orion. That should start getting you to improve a little bit better with us. I'd really rather not go to war with Paravon, but we might have to make the Wood Elves allied with us.
Do you know who I am?
They are far weaker than we are. I'm only counting one significant army, and that's at Paravon's capital. We'll have to worry about that with King Louen later on. Speaking of King Louen, he's going to be the second thing that we do this round.
Yes.
Chaplain gained a rank. So just for the future, we're going to grab the Grail Vow, meaning he can start equipping Grail Knights in his army when we get up north. Now, the whole purpose of these three is going to be to stick together and go on one giant errantry war all the way up to Norsca. So they'll enter the water together, they'll do everything together. They're kind of like line mates in hockey. But for right now, it's time to finally deal with the Sword of Couronne. And of course, we cannot auto-resolve this fight, we just have to fight it out. But I'm completely fine with that because we have Bequee, the awesome griffin that is awesome. So let's jump into this fight. Gold-ranked knightly units and our mounted yeoman regiment of renown, the Wardens of Montfort, I think they are, is going to help us out. Now they've got 1,202 reinforcements. It should be a speech.
Companions, Brettonnia's need is dire. This terrible fog corrodes our focus. Our enemy, a horde of horrifying beasts, thrives in this gloom. So be on your guard. The head-on charge may not succeed. We must proceed more carefully. They are fast and deceptively cunning. But you are the lady's men, and no beast will stop you. Should we fail today, Brettonnia will be left vulnerable. The kingdom relies on us. So fight to defend all you hold dear.
Man, I do love how they put the speeches and everything into the game. It's really awesome. So what we're going to do, it looks like the orcs and goblins are going to be over there. I want to be able to draw the greenskins out onto the field as easily as possible. So what we're going to do, we're going to use our Wardens of Montfort as an advanced force. We'll set up our infantry kind of like that, with our archers and our field trebuchets. Most likely they'll be in the center there. King Louen will put up front, Lady Ryan at one end of the line, and Lady Di at the other. Sar PC will kind of put in the center. Our Knights of the Realm, I did see some cavalry in the lists, so we're going to want them to be able to get a clear charge as best they can anyway. Our anti-infantry will save over to this side. Let's see what happens. Now there is a chance that any of their reinforcements could show up behind us. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our Pegasus Knights as kind of flankers and outriders. We'll see how it goes. Should be seeing the first shots from our field trebuchets headed off here pretty quick. Let's use the Wardens of Montfort to scout. Pretty sure I'm calling them. Yay, I'm calling them the right thing for a change. And there goes some big pieces of masonry to screw up whatever goblins and orcs are in the center.
King Louen Leoncoeur.
I serve the lady. Priestess of the lady.
And let's see if Lady Di can just throw some chain lightning down in the center of the woods and force them to the sides. Send this unit of Knights of the Realm and that unit of Knights of the Realm off to deal with those two sides. And Di, it looks like you have a better target for that chain lightning. And that was the Foot of Gorkin. Ow! That really smarted. Send our Pegasus Knights in to deal with that. King Louen, you can kill their leader. Looks like they're trying to flank us, too. Can't let that happen. Got them retreating now. Let's see if we can take out their archers. King Louen, pop off the lion shield. You're on a monster right now, so shouldn't be too tough for you to deal with pretty much anything. Kind of burning through our magical power fairly quickly. I think Ryan has Arcane Conduit, which helps out a ton. I'm starting to see some routed skulls too. Definitely helps us out if we can rout a lot of their units right off the bat. Our infantry hasn't even gotten into combat yet, so PC, let's get you to charge forward too and help out our Knights of the Realm. It's looking like a fairly bog standard engagement so far. I was expecting a little bit more out of this fight, but we'll see what happens as we're crushing down these orcs and goblins. Seen a lot more greenskins on the field dying than I am Bretonnian dead. So that's definitely a positive. Let's pull our footmen back. Start to reorganize our troops just a little bit. And look at that, we got some night goblins coming in now, so let's realign and see if we can set up our charge for the next round of enemies. Get your butt back to our lines. Okay, I'm seeing the night goblins. It's Shifty Backstabber. Seen that name before, just nowhere near us. Come on, Pegasus Knights, get out of there. Alright, let's just pause quickly. Those orc boar boys need to go down. PC, we'll get you to go over and try to take out Gobspit. I think now's the time that we're going to charge our infantry across the field to support all of our other knightly endeavors. Try and hit hard with our knights, get the charge off again. And Louen, go after Shifty Backstabber. And now we have reinforcements approaching from behind us too. And those would be goblin... They're not doom divers. They're something else. They drink madcap mushroom beer. They're little psychotics with a big ball and chain.
We fight for Brettonnia. Squash them flat.
Oh, why can't I remember the name of them now? Night Goblin Fanatics, that's it. Pretty sure it's Fanatics anyway. Seeing a few knightly bodies on the field. There's probably a big one in a foot shape over here. Definitely seeing a lot more orcs and goblins going down than our guys. The best part is we only have to break this army. We do not have to completely shatter it. Any other kills right here are just a little bit of bonus experience. That doesn't really matter because now we have the Sword of Couronne. We only lost 67 units? That's actually pretty amazing. I thought we were going to lose more with the way that Foot of Gork, or maybe Mork, fell on our knightly units. We definitely won the battle for kills, though. Zugrat Godspit's army was over 10-1 by itself, and the other two were 10-1 together. So, execute the captives. We'll see them spread out slightly, but that doesn't really matter. They're just going to disappear. It's a campaign battle. So we've got a hedge wizard. Got Orcsbane, so +3 leadership when fighting against greenskin tribes. Gain 20 chivalry and the Sword of Corone. So a area hex that lowers the defense and armor of all enemies near him. Gives him +6 melee attack, 10% weapon strength, makes his attacks magical. Reduces the upkeep for all units in his army, reduces the upkeep or the recruitment cost for his army, and increases the ability or the income from his post-battle loot. It's an incredibly awesome weapon. So now he has the Sword of Corone. It'll take a turn to get onto him, but that's fine. Now while I'm thinking about it, that is the wrong button, Dre. Hand weapon. We can give Aitadon the Worm Lance. We don't really have any other talismans, but we can also give him a potion of healing. Court Jester. Should work out just fine. So RPC, we can give you a potion of healing too, just make you a little bit tougher. Lady Ryan, we're going to give you Armor of Silver Steel at the very least. And we don't have anything else that we can put into your last slot there. But we can give you the Ruby Ring of Ruin, give you a little bit of offensive power. When you die, we can give you a Charmed Shield. We have a lot of potions of healing. I'm okay with that. We can also give you a Scroll of Blast. That should help out in a lot of ways too. Furix, we don't have any more armor to give out, but you're a little bit on the lower side as far as abilities go. Same with you, Ahriman. And Lord Eddie, well, you aren't even battle tested yet. So that should work out, all things considered. Now we can give Phoenix a Court Jester. So unassigned skill points. Louen did gain a level. And we're going to give him full plate armor. I do want to complete his first branching tier here before we go on to anything else, because he's on Bequee right now. It makes him really, really easy to hit and really easy to hurt. But if we can get full plate armor, Scarred Veteran out of the way, and then make his charge more devastating, I swear I can English sometimes, then it'll make him a lot harder to deal with when I charge him in randomly. Now, SARPC, yeah, we're going to give you a Pegasus. Because, well, Pegasi are awesome. And that'll help out. Now, the real question is, what do we want to do with King Louen right now? Our only real options are either to deal with Paravon directly, which I don't want to do,
I am no churl.
or we can keep you hanging around Castle Artois and Corone to kind of guard the north. Which means that I think it's Muffin and Shiffroy that are down here. It is Muffin and Shiffroy. It would be up to these two to deal with the orcs if they start breaking through in the south. And I'm still tempted to send them through and take over Myrmidons and Grunty Mingal and a few of those places. The alternative would be to make our lands in the desert a little bit more stable, which I very much doubt is going to happen. But this turn, we can actually... well, it costs a lot to upkeep these knights. But we can get you a couple of units of Knights Errant, at least for now, Eddie, so you can deal with the rebels when they come. And they will be coming eventually here. That's all we can do for this round. So, and I forget to move Furix, because I'm a genius! That means I probably forgot to move Ahriman too, even though I looked at them in the character screens. Great. I do want to scout out towards the Lizardman area down there, and I'm pretty sure that's a Skaven city, those ruins. We'll see how it works out. Now, come on, Franz, just go and take on Drakenhof. You could end the vampiric menace to the Empire once and for all, and you're not. Why? Just take Volkmar the Grim, take Balthazar Gelt, go in yourself and smash Drakenhof to the ground. Come on, it's not that hard. You can do it, Carol. You can do it. I believe in you. Ah, my allies sometimes, I swear. Granted, they are kind of barbaric heathens who follow a warrior god instead of the beautiful Lady of the Lake. So we can kind of cut them a little bit of slack when it comes to what they do. But you'd think if they were following Sigmar, they would be all about the Heldenhammer and going after the vampires with a vengeance. Be like what Blade Trinity did to all Blade fans. Except for Ryan Reynolds. He was awesome in that movie. Well, Ryan Reynolds is awesome in general. I love him as an actor. And he was a great Deadpool. So, that's my personal bias. Seriously, is Helmengorst going to be able to get all the way around your battle lines just by running scared? And Haka Black Raider has blocked one of our armies, which is going to slow us down. I'd normally want to get their stacks full before we send them up north, but we don't really have that option right now. It is a tiny bit sad. Which kind of sucks, but oh well. It is what it is. Not much we can do to change it. Why is Khemri coming through our lands? Do we have a free motion treaty with Khemri? I think we do.
You wish the lady's favor?
You know what? I will take a military alliance with you. Now, Paravon, please do something stupid and get yourself hurt, crushed, broken, destroyed. I just need that big army stack of yours to go away. It would also be really, really, really nice if Talea would get on beating up the orcs, too. There's a lot of things that I have to keep in mind for what we're doing right now, and knowing that the orcs and goblins are kind of consolidating sucks.
I am its king. Let us hope you leave us friend.
No, you have Chaos Worshippers in your lot. We're not accepting that.
Our lands prosper under your chivalrous rule. Yet evil still breeds in every corner. Many look to destroy Brettonnia, and their power grows as quickly as your own. Stave off their advances, and unite the banners of Brettonnia through your chivalric actions.
Awesome, so we just gained the next rank of Chivalry. 5,000 crowns into our treasury. And if we can get up to the Errantry War, which isn't the final Errantry War, because we have to get up to 1,600 Chivalry for that, we're about halfway there. Hopefully we'll be able to do that in not too long of a time. Louen, we will deal with you momentarily.
You know who I am.
But for right now, Grimuldis, let's get you onto the ocean. Phoenix, onto the ocean.
Protector of the realm. Do you take me for a
There we
child?
go. Then we will move you guys out
My
as quickly as we
reputation
can.
precedes me.
Yeah, that's not really going to do you any good this turn, Chaplain. 'Cause somebody blocked you. But we're going to go up and go after Pack Ice Bay.
My blade is ready.
King Louen. We do have the option of going down the eastern side of the mountains. Trying to get into this fight against the orcs. That would leave our entire northern coastline completely open. Let's just send you back to Couronne for a short little bit. Now, Furic's down on the south.
To victory. With haste.
So many of the tomb cities are starting to pop up around us. I'm pretty sure there's another dwarven nation, and then the guys that I'm actually coming down here to see, well, there's a vampire faction right here for Lamia, but it's down here where there's a lizardman tribe that we want to kind of be friends with. This is Lord
Will you
or not
take me
Krokgar,
for a shell?
wow, I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. That's happening a lot today. It's kind of weird. Wields the Sun Spear. I should know this offhand. He's one of the legendary lords, for bloody sake.
Onwards, then.
Wow, even Varenka Hills has fallen.
Reckons.
That's kind of scary to see. Board low is really improving. Now, what are the odds that we could get a hero out of here? We could get another damsel, and we don't have a beast's damsel just yet. So we'll go with this. And this will be Lady Janice. Get Wisian's wild form and specialist, because we're going to have her going up north. She's probably going to outrun the armies, so she'll meet them up there. We'll try and save as much of our cash as we can, because if we can get the current tournament grounds, that's going to be a big thing for us in the long run. We really want that. So we're going to save towards it. And let the other nations go. Probably be the last thing we do for this week. Just kind of hoping that we'd get that first big fight off. I really wanted to take Norscans on myself, but some battles are just not worth the loading times when they get crushed that badly. Now, Franz, just kill the vampires already. Don't make me have to send my king all the way across, which would be me personally traveling the length and breadth of the Empire, with all of your funny hats and goofy pants, to go over to Drakenhof itself and beat the vampires up on my own. I don't want to do that. So please, just take Drakenhof, either burn it to the ground, or reconsecrate it to your warrior god, and be done with it. I'm tired of dealing with the vampires. It almost might be worth sending Muffin and Schilferoy that way, though. Make peace with Tulea, and then head off that way, because Drakenhof would be a good base of operations to help our allies in the Empire out. The only problem is that the vampire counts, that's their capital. They probably have a really intense garrison. And they're generally got a lot of really strong units there. So we'd have to get some really good knights or something. And the Wood Elves have ended their non-aggression pact with us. It's kind of a roller coaster with those Wood Elves, man. I'd really rather not go to war with the Wood Elves. But they're making it really, really hard to justify not going to war with them. But we've already declared a war of Errantry, so our units are going north. We're going to be fighting there.
Or I will strike you down.
And no, you're a force of disorder. Hellebron, we do not like you, so we're not going to ally with you, because you're generally a pain in the butt. Ooh, there's a regiment of renown. Blessed Legion of... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Yeah, that's their legendary archers. The way it's sounding in my head would not be good to be saying right now, so yeah, we're just going to leave it alone. Now, Paravon, we really need you to suffer some sort of calamity. An earthquake would be great. Lady of the Lake, please get on that. Or something that reduces your military power. We need you to confederate with us. Because otherwise, you're just kind of an obstacle to the unification of Brettonnia, but not only that, you're making it so the Wood Elves don't like us. And I'd rather not go to war with the Wood Elves. Because fighting wood elves is like trying to nail water to the wall. You can try, but all you're going to do is end up with a lot of nails in the wall and no water. Oh, looks like we're going to have one more fight before the end of this week. They have a lot of cavalry and a set of trebuchets. We have less cavalry, but better cavalry, and a lot of infantry. So let's fight this out. Do not disappoint us, Eddie. Do not disappoint us. Our army is probably going to be split into two, which is going to suck. But we have Grail Knights. And yes, our army is going to be split into two, which kinda sucks. So we're going to send our Grail Knights off to one edge. And our Yeomen over there. Then we'll kind of block up this corner and see what we can do. If we can connect our forces in general, that would be a lot better than just sitting idly. Pretty much what it's going to be, though, is we're going to have to charge them in the back. I think. You guys can fire on their field trebuchet. Actually, both of our trebuchets can do that. Let's just pause really quick here. Group up these guys. Set up kind of a battle line. Group up our flame archers behind them. Make sure Eddie's in the mix over there. We'll see how that works out. Those their archers, or just their normal yeomen? This is going to be kind of a weird little setup. Because it's kind of charging on all fronts. So if we can just get into the fight as quickly as possible on some of these directions, hopefully we can fight them down. Beating their leader is kind of the important part here, so we'll send our Grail Knights over to try and deal with that a little bit. Like I figured, it's just kind of turning into a big scrum all across the map. Grail Knights are getting their butts kicked a little bit.
Lord of Brettonnia, attack! Boundless Valor! Death!
There's not really much to say on this particular fight. It's just kind of rolling out like it should be.
Come on, lads! Run him through!
Kind of using our cavalry as a screen in a manner of speaking.
Peasant bowman! Loose!
One of our field trebuchets actually got hit.
Shields high! Lay knight! We serve the king! Get him!
Attack! Have at him! By the lady! True Bretonnian!
Light cavalry's doing a fair bit of work on this one.
For orders!
Not ours, though. Theirs.
Quick march! All men ready! By the lady!
So the fact that they keep hitting and fading, which is actually working out really well for them.
By the lady!
What we need to be able to do is break their lord. Once that happens, it's pretty much game over for them.
Squires! Armor the faith!
I know it's a bit of a long run, but Eddie, get your butt in motion over to there. Our flame archers are doing a little bit of work now.
We are ready!
Technically speaking, our own commander unit is losing, but he's mounted to peasants, so
Orders, my lord! God help us! We fight for Brettonnia! Shields high!
and we have no crews left for our war machines.
Armed and ready!
This is kind of sort of turned into one big mess.
By the lady!
It's kind of what we were figuring was going to happen.
Spearmen at arms!
Just expected it a little bit differently than it happened. Okay, so those guys are done.
By them!
What few Grail Knights we have left can charge over there.
Defenders of the realm!
I don't really want to waste the time and energy chasing these guys if I don't have to, since they have more cavalry than we do. Which is weird for a Bretonnian army. But we're fighting other Bretonnians, so makes sense, I guess?
Spearmen at arms! Honor the lady!
Anyway, let's see about finishing this off, because most of our troops are still in pretty high morale, even the ones that are getting pretty devastated. That's kind of a victory. I only say kind of because, man, did we lose a lot of soldiers. But you held on, Eddie. You did what we needed you to do, and beat down the Thegan's Errantry rebels, even though... Didn't we passively include them into our realm? I think we did. You can offer redemption to restore your units a little bit, and then on our next turn you can take them out. Alright, so the steel technology... Ooh, there's going to be another black arc on the oceans here pretty quick. But that's probably a good place to call it for this week, guys. So, one kind of non-starter battle that was a slaughterfest. The declarance of an errantry war. Of course, up north. Our king getting his sword. And then whatever that scrum was down in the south with a lot of our infantry running all over the place. But if you liked the video, guys, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with the 232, be part of our community, just hit that subscribe button. And make sure to turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes out. And remember, guys, life is a game, so play to win. And until next time, take care.